Question 946. Graham sold his home to Zoe on June 20th, with an existing loan of $200,000. There is a 12% interest rate charged on the loan. Zoe took over the loan, with interest paid up to May 31st. How much is the prorated interest, and which party is credited or debited for it? A. $25,000, credited to Zoe. B. $135.06, credited to Graham. C. $1,315.06, debited to Graham. D. $4,480, debited to Zoe. Correct answer is C. $1,315.06, debited to Graham. 1. Calculate daily interest. Annual interest. $200,000 * 12% equals $24,000. Daily interest. $24,000 per 365 days equals $65.75 per day. 2. Calculate the number of days. Interest accrued from May 31st to June 20th equals 20 days. 3. Calculate accrued interest. Daily interest * number of days equals $65.753 per day * 20 days equals $1,315.06. 4. Determine who pays. Zoe, the buyer, will be debited for the accrued interest. Since Zoe is taking over the loan, she is responsible for paying the interest accrued from May 31st to the date of closing, June 20th. Question 947. After agreeing to locate a property for a principal, a broker finds one, then decides to purchase it himself for less than what the principal had said she was prepared to pay. The broker subsequently sells the property to the principal for that higher price and keeps the difference. This would be termed A for the broker. A. Conversion. B. Commingling. C. Secret profit. D. Double agency. Correct answer is C. Secret profit. Conversion generally refers to the wrongful appropriation of property. While the broker's actions could be considered a form of conversion, secret profit is more specific to this type of situation. Commingling refers to the mixing of client funds with the broker's personal or business funds. Double agency occurs when an agent represents both the buyer and the seller in a transaction. This situation does not involve double agency. Secret profit occurs when an agent secretly benefits from a transaction involving their principal. In this scenario, the broker secretly purchased the property at a lower price. The broker then resold the property to their client at a higher price, thereby secretly profiting from the transaction. This is a serious breach of fiduciary duty. Question 948. Jordan agrees to trade her diamond ring for a vacant lot owned by Aaron. This will be considered A. A contract supported by valid consideration. B. Not a contract because no money for consideration was exchanged. C. Not a contract because two unlike items cannot be traded. D. None of the above. Correct answer is A. A contract supported by valid consideration. In contract law, consideration is something of value exchanged for a promise. In this scenario, Jordan provides the diamond ring as consideration for Aaron's promise to transfer ownership of the vacant lot. Aaron provides the vacant lot as consideration for Jordan's promise to transfer ownership of the diamond ring. This exchange of valuable items constitutes valid consideration, making the agreement a legally binding contract. Question 949. Which of the following does not describe a fiduciary relationship? A. Attorney to client. B. Trustor to beneficiary. C. Broker to seller. D. Employee to employer. Correct answer is B. Trustor to beneficiary. A fiduciary relationship is a legal or ethical relationship of trust between two or more parties. In such a relationship, one party, called the fiduciary, is given responsibility for another's property or money. In such a relationship, one party, called the fiduciary, is given responsibility for another's property or money. They are legally bound to act on behalf of the other party, known as the principal or beneficiary. Crucially, the fiduciary must always prioritize the principal's best interests, even above their own. A trustor, or grantor, settler, is the person who creates a trust. A beneficiary is the person who receives the benefits from the trust. The trustee is the person or entity appointed to manage the trust assets for the benefit of the beneficiary. The fiduciary relationship exists between the trustee and the beneficiary, where the trustee owes a duty to the beneficiary. The trustor creates the trust but typically holds no direct fiduciary duty to the beneficiary. This means they are not responsible for the ongoing management or distribution of the trust's assets. A fiduciary duty would only arise if the trustor also takes on the role of the trustee. Question 950. If a lender keeps a loan in-house, and does not sell it on the secondary market, it is referred to as a secret loan, b. internal loan, c. portfolio loan, d. subsidized mortgage loan. Correct answer is C. portfolio loan. Secret loan is not a standard term in the mortgage industry. Subsidized mortgage loan are government-backed loans with lower interest rates, such as FHA or VA loans. Internal loan might be used informally, but the portfolio loan is the more standard and accurate term. When a lender keeps a loan in-house and does not sell it on the secondary mortgage market, it's referred to as a portfolio loan. By keeping the loan in-house, the lender maintains a long-term relationship with the borrower and retains the income generated by the loan. Question 951. Andrew's apartment lease with a term of 2 years terminated, but the landlord went ahead and accepted another monthly rent payment from Andrew. The lease is now A. a periodic tenancy, B. a co-tenancy, C. extended for 2 more years, D. terminated. Correct answer is A. a periodic tenancy. When a fixed-term lease, like Andrew's 2-year apartment lease, expires, it automatically terminates. If the tenant remains in possession, they become a holdover tenant, or tenant at sufferance. However, if the landlord then accepts another rent payment from the holdover tenant, this action typically signifies the landlord's consent for the tenant to remain. This changes the nature of the tenancy from a holdover to a periodic tenancy. Since the payment was a monthly rent payment, the lease is most likely converted into a month-to-month periodic tenancy. Question 952. A tax shelter involving real estate could refer to a tax-deferred exchange, B. installment sale, C. depreciate portions of a home used solely for business purpose, D. all of the above. Correct answer is D. all of the above. A 1031 exchange allows investors to defer capital gains taxes by exchanging one investment property for another. In an installment sale, the seller receives payments over time. This can spread out the tax liability, reducing the tax burden in a single year. For income-producing properties, owners can deduct a portion of the property's value as depreciation expense each year, reducing their taxable income. All of these strategies can be used to reduce the tax liability associated with real estate investments. Question 953. Which of the following terms does not fit with the other three? A. consideration, B. offer, C. title, D. acceptance. Correct answer is C. title. Consideration, offer, and acceptance are the 3 essential components required to form a valid contract. Consideration, offer, and acceptance are the 3 essential components required to form a valid contract. These 3 elements form the foundation of a legal agreement between parties. An offer is a proposal to enter into a contract. Acceptance is the agreement to that proposal's terms. and consideration represents the exchange of something of value between the parties. Title, on the other hand, refers to the legal right of ownership of property. While title is often involved in real estate contracts, it is a concept of property ownership, not a fundamental element required for the formation of a contract itself. You can have a valid contract, e.g., a contract for services, without any concept of title being involved. Question 954. A person died intestate. If no additional heirs were found and there was no will, the real property belonging to the deceased would transfer by A. Devise, B. Descent and distribution, C. Escheat to the state, D. Demise. Correct answer is C. Escheat to the state. Devise refers to the transfer of real property through a will. This scenario states there was no will. Descent and distribution refers to the transfer of property to legal heirs when someone dies intestate. This applies when heirs do exist. Demise can refer to a transfer of an estate, like in a lease, or simply death. But it's not the legal mechanism for property transfer when there are no heirs. Intestate means dying without a valid will. No additional heirs were found indicates that there are no legal successors who would inherit under the laws of intestacy. To escheat refers to property reverting to the state if it is classified as abandoned. This usually occurs when someone dies intestate and no heirs can be located. Question 955. To be valid, a will must fulfill the following legal requirements. A. Must be in writing. B. Should be signed by the testator, maker of the will. C. Must be attested to by at least 2 competent witnesses. D. All of the above. Correct answer is D. All of the above. To be considered legally valid, a will must generally meet the following requirements. 1. Must be in writing. Oral wills are typically not legally valid. 2. Must be signed by the testator, maker of the will. This demonstrates the testator's intent and understanding of the document. 3. Must be attested to by at least 2 competent witnesses. Witnesses provide evidence that the testator signed the will voluntarily and with sound mind. These requirements help ensure the validity and enforceability of a will. Some jurisdictions recognize holographic wills, which are wills written entirely in the testator's handwriting and signed by them, without the need for witnesses. However, these are subject to strict scrutiny and are not recognized everywhere.